Now that you have had time to process and watch a few videos about concept-driven education, we're going to start getting into our assignment for October. We're going to plan towards the standards. As you know, and as you've heard me say, and probably many other people say 1,000 times, our standards are not finalized, but they are probably not changing. Right now, there is a commissioner-approved draft from 2021 that is just waiting to get the stamp of approval. So we are going to look at those and start getting ready. With the assignment, you are going to be using the concept-driven education tools you have just learned about and watched. And we're just getting into the bare basics of this today. So ideally, I want you to start looking towards the future. If you are a current 8th grade social studies teacher, what has changed? What hasn't changed? And I want you to pick that course and start thinking about how it's going to look different for you when these standards are done. Same with in high school. Pick a subject that you are currently teaching that you're maybe passionate about or think that could use a little bit of work or a change. When I was going through this, I chose government. I had been teaching government for a long time, and there are some new things coming my way for government. And so I wanted to review those standards. You're going to take the time now to review the commissioner-approved draft of those new standards, and those are going to be located in Schoology. Again, this is a large document. It's K through 12. But if you just scroll down, find your course, you can kind of see what's new. And there's a lot of new terms as well as topics in every single grade level that you might have not seen before. So again, it's the 2021 approved draft. I want you to look and see what's different and what looks the same. You can pause here and do that, or you can keep going. Just make sure you have those standards open while we go through the assignment. So as we plan towards those standards, I want you, once you have your course picked, I want you to pick a unit of focus for the month. This is just going to be a unit that you're going to be working on and then submitting as your assignment for October. You're going to be using the Google Doc that's going to be attached in Schoology as the assignment as your guide. And I'll show you what that looks like here on the next slide. With that, I want you to remember the facts and the topics and skills that are important into your unit. These things are still important in planning, but they are not the end-all, be-all goal of where you want the student to be towards the end. Our goal is to make all of these parts work as a cohesive whole. We're going to be focusing on just organizing one unit first. We're not tackling a whole course. You're not looking at all the standards of everything in social studies. That would be crazy. We're just looking at one unit, one small thing that you're probably really used to teaching. But how is that changing coming down the line when our new standards get approved? So this is the picture of the unit and how I want you to organize it. I made a Google Doc that looks like this, that has theory, principal generalization, concepts, topics, and facts on the bottom. Again, we are planning just one unit or area that you do in your classroom. Think about what are you going to rework? And I want you to break it down using the attached Google document, and you're going to go backwards. And what I mean by that is you are going to fill in the facts first. What facts do they need to know for this unit? What facts are important to make sure they can get the topics, then the concepts, then the principal generalization, and then the theory? I want you to list all the facts you want students to know first, and then work backwards like I just mentioned. This document will be submitted as your assignment for October. Again, my Google Doc is just something I created that you can use. If you have found something that works better or easier to lay it out, by all means go ahead. Even if you had to handwrite it out, that's completely fine as well. As long as I can see what your theory and what your unit looks like as it's worked through concept-based education. Few takeaways from doing this that I hope we all remember for October. This was some of our first looks at the new standards. Some of us have heard about them, talked about them, you know they're coming, but you haven't necessarily maybe opened the document to look at it. So a takeaway is just thinking about what's coming. Get comfortable with some of the lesson design that's going to be needed. We are restructuring all of our lessons. And yes, we're going to be using the old as well as the new, and we want them to go together well. We're going to be continuing to work on this in November and December. We're just going to be adding new pieces into it. So you can always feel that if you want to keep using the same lesson that you use for October, or if you want to change it up for November and December. Again, thank you so much for your time doing this asynchronously this month. I appreciate it. Always feel free to ask me any questions. Again, all of the resources and documents will be in your Schoology course if you need anything, but I am always just an email or a phone call away. And I appreciate all of your time. I appreciate all of you, and thank you for everything. And I will see you all very soon.